Hey guys, I'm traumatized now. My husband calls me in the middle of the live and the phone and it cut off connection. So I actually had to answer him. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. He goes, what's going on? And I'm like, I'm on Facebook Live. I just interrupted this whole process. Okay, guys, I hope you're still there and I hope you'll tune back in. I know, I'm new at this and these things happen. So we have to learn to kind of go with it. Life is a process of random acts, things that happen to you that you can't control and you're powerless over. I'm powerless over this darn cell phone. Hi, Tracy, there you are. I know, it was totally weird. My husband called me. I got cut off. That's real life happening in real time. This is what it's like, right? So I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, and I'm living life trying to be a guide and trying to be an inspiration to people while trying to heal myself still and trying to be present, and we're talking about all of this trauma and what happens in trauma and how you survive it. One of the things that I know really to my core is that forgiveness of self. We are so quick sometimes to forgive other people that have harmed us because we're so afraid of losing relationships, especially with our family. It's such a scary thing. Like, we're born to these people and we're connected to these people biologically. So it's like I told my client today, and he might be listening, it's like the mafia. You can't get out. You get in and you can't get out. But truly, sometimes in your own family, when you've experienced trauma and you've been abused or you've been neglected or ignored or hurt in whatever form that they hurt you, just not believing in you or just not accepting you the way you looked or sounded or your career choice or anything, maybe whatever, maybe you got a nose piercing and your family disowned you, right? Or your sexual orientation and they disowned you for that, which I know. I've had friends who have experienced that. In that tragedy, we're often very quick to forget, I understand, they don't know any better, they're not capable, they haven't learned what I have, they're not exploring the world and spiritually the way that I'm exploring the world. And so we're so quick to forgive others and we are so painfully slow to forgive ourselves. There are people that I've talked to who feel badly that they didn't help other people during the tragedy in Las Vegas. That they saw other people down, that they, ran past or walked past, that they couldn't help, that they didn't turn around. And I had friends even ask me, like, I don't know what I'd do. What would be my instinct? I think I'd save myself. And I'd say, yeah, your instinct would be to save yourself. Because you're wired to do that. If you don't save yourself, you're not there for anybody else ever, permanently. So it's okay that you did the best that you could in a situation that was impossible. Same as the tragedy in Vegas, same as you're growing up in your childhood or in a domestic violence situation or an addicted situation where you're the addict or you're in relationship with the addict and that was abusive and traumatic. It's okay that you did the very best that you could. And any of you that are out there that are in program 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is an amazing freaking program. It's all over the world. It has helped billions of people, I think, by now. And if not, it will. And it's that progress, not perfection. Like, I am moving forward in the best way that I can. And you can't expect me to be perfect in a situation that's so imperfect, in a broken situation, in a dysfunctional family, in an alcoholic home, or in my own addiction, or in being sexually abused, or being in a typhoon, or a tornado, or an earthquake. I did the very best I could to survive that situation so that I could move on, so that I continue in life trying to find a purpose. Trying to find where am I in this world and where am I supposed to fit. Trauma is remembered more vividly the further away you get from it. And I don't think a lot of people understand that or know that. That's why when a lot of you get into therapy at this stage of life or, 30, 40, 50 years old and you go, why is this bothering me now? Like, I put this away for a long time. Why is it bothering me now? Because when you're further away from the trauma where you finally feel safe, and that could take decades, that you create a life of safety with people around you that love and support you. When you are further away from that trauma, then you're able to process it, to actually deal with it and look at it like looking at it like I'm looking at a book and go, okay, oh my God, page 1, this happened to me. I was molested as a child, and it changed everything about me. It changed the course of my sexuality, my personality, my thought process, how I think about myself, the shame that I carry. Oh my God, I am so far away from that trauma now that I can look at it and know it's not going to kill me. That is the issue. When you are in a life-threatening situation, such as Vegas, such as sexual abuse, such as an assault, you believe you're going to die. Hope people who seek help can receive help. Just hit my 1 year. Yeah, Ray. 1 year. Keep going, man. You're on the right path. So, oh my God. When you feel safe and you start to see and you witness this, you understand that you're not going to die. When tragedy happens and you're in a real traumatic event, you believe you're going to die. So everything in you will fight for that survival, everything in you. So whatever you had to do to get away from a perpetrator, to go through the abuse, and to save yourself in whatever way that you could is okay. It is never your fault when something tragic happens. I'm at the wrong place at the wrong time. No, that's not your fault. Someone else's sick behavior is not your fault. You can't take responsibility for someone else's sick behavior. What are you smoking? I don't know what Cheeto's talking about. God bless you, Cheeto. What are you smoke? I'm not smoking. I don't smoke. But, all right. Maybe I look like I'm high, but I'm not. Clean and sober, my friend. Anyways, your role in this is to heal yourself, is to survive, is to get past the trauma, is to forgive yourself, to stop holding on to it like a trophy that says, I can't have healthy relationships today because this horrible thing happened in my childhood. I can't go out anymore to, a beautiful venue because this horrible tragedy just happened in our lives where I was outside and it wasn't safe, whether I was assaulted or I was in a car wreck or I was in Las Vegas. You have the right to live as a human being, and you are not responsible for anyone else's sick behavior. It is so not ours to carry. People ask me over and over again, why would somebody do that? Why did this person do that? Their strength and honesty is PTSD recoverable. Absolutely. You sure? Thanks, Cheeto. Thank you, Cheeto, for the humor. I'm so sure, dude. This is me all day long. This is my energy. This is what I like. I don't have to do drugs, smoke, do anything to get high on life. That's what I'm high on. And exercise. So keep it clean, Cheeto. Yeah, I'm with you. Anyways, yes, you can recover from trauma. This is the thing. This is what we're talking about is you have to have the willingness to be brave, to be courageous enough to look at it and to deal with it. This is my trauma. I see it, I know what it is, and damn it, I want to let it go. I want to let it go. I don't want to hold on to this anymore. I don't want to feel less than. I don't want to feel shame. I don't want to feel terrified. So I'm going to expose all of my emotional self. I'm going to let people know that I'm scared and that I'm vulnerable. This is something that you do in therapy. I'm so beyond grateful to have seen you speak your book. Thank you, Tanya. You too. Ignore the trolls. Absolutely. Seeking safety. Sure. Absolutely. That's actually a therapy tool. Seeking safety starts here too. It's surrounding yourself by people. I'm trying, but not. Okay, whatever. Keep it real, brother. Seeking safety starts here, is in asking people in your life when you need help. Reach out to your friends. If your family turns your back on you when you need help, then you reach out to your friends, or you reach out to your church community or your pastors. You certainly reach out to people in program. If you're in program, brother or sister in recovery, extend the hand to a brother or sister in recovery who's suffering, who's hurting. There's people that have been impacted by this, and you guys can reach out to them. It's 6 degrees of separation. We all know somebody that got impacted by this tragedy, but we also know people that have tragedies in their life every day. We're losing hundreds of thousands of people to the disease of alcohol and drug addiction, overdose on a daily. We're losing children to suicide. We have the highest suicide rate of adolescents that there is right now that has ever been. We're losing people in ways that are so tragic, and they're close to us. They're near us. It's not enough to say, you go take care of the problem, it's your problem. We're human beings. It is our nature to love and heal. It's truly our nature. If we'll get into that emotional place in our heart and not just say, hey, that's somebody else's problem, our selfish, self-centered part of our humanity gets in the way of us doing what's right, is to show up for other people in the smallest ways. Now that you have all this social media, my God, it's easy to send praise, it's easy to send love, it's easy to send encouragement to the people in your life that need it. If you know somebody that's been afflicted with addiction, abuse, any kind of trauma, whether it's, Hurricane Harvey or Puerto Rico or the earthquake in Mexico, and you know this, you can reach out to them. You can't imagine what loving, kind words can do. We are so full of abusive language right now, and I'm not talking about foul language. I'm talking about abusive language. We are so critical of each other. We are so rigid right now in our thinking. We're either left, we're either right. All of us human beings exist in the gray. We exist in the middle. We are all made up of left and right, good and bad, right or wrong. We are not perfect. We are absolutely imperfect human beings. And our tragedy and our trauma let us live in the gray. It reminds us how imperfect we are, how crazy people can be walking the earth and do insane things that there will never be an explanation for. I don't care how many psychologists, including me as a psychotherapist, you bring on and explain this guy's behavior, you will never understand it, because there's no explaining insanity. There's no explaining evil. It is, and it exists, and we live, and we understand that. So it is up to us to know that in the face of evil, we don't need to participate in being black or white, right or wrong, leftist, rightist. There is a middle place where we can meet and join each other. And it starts with understanding, and it starts with compassion. It starts with extending a hand to a brother or sister in need who you don't even know, but that your heart and your humanity says that you want to love and that you want to help. That's where healing starts. Shared it, love it. Bethany, I'm going to message you later while my staff is messaging you about hating life. Important to remember, addicts are people, not monsters. Yeah, we are someone's mother, brother, sister, father. Yeah, remove the stigma. Absolutely. We're human beings. All of us are human beings. You're a human being suffering with an addiction, while some other human being has some other character defect that they are dealing with and some other disease that they are dealing with. They could be sober and be the most selfish, self-centered, cruel, mean, abusive person that you ever want to meet. So, is that not something that we should be upset about and have stigma towards? We should have stigma towards mean people. We should have stigma towards bullies. We should. We're too tolerant of it. We are way too tolerant of it. And part of it is that we don't speak up. We don't speak up in our own families. We don't speak up with our friends. We don't speak up with our loved ones. We're scared. We're always afraid of losing what we have. We're always afraid of losing connection. Human beings are wired to have connection. Trauma destroys connection when you experience it between you and whoever that tragic person happened to. But sometimes it makes you withdraw. Trauma makes you withdraw within yourself and avoid other people because you no longer trust. You're afraid where evil is going to show up. Of course you are. But we have the right as human beings to heal from the sick, tragic, perpetrator, abusive, whatever people those were in your life and in our present. If it's in our present, in our society, and like this gentleman in Vegas, oh my God, right? We are not responsible for other people's insanities. We are responsible for ourselves, our emotional selves. We are responsible to heal this. We're responsible to do a little better than what our parents did before us and their parents did before them. We're not ignorant. We have all of these resources now to educate ourselves about healing. Face the trauma, face the addiction. You can't hide from it, you can't run from it. It will find you. It will seek you out. I love it. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I love you. You're awesome. Salpi, Vasquez, and Crystal, and Monica, and Kimberly. Truth. I am trying to preach it. Like, I'm so upset because I've worked, 31 years working with trauma. I have seen a lot of trauma survivors. I've seen I've heard and listened to horrible things that human beings do to each other. This is just another level of horrible things that human beings do to each other. We molest children in our own home. And incest, we beat our own children. We lock our children. Some people lock their children in their houses and go out while they're out partying and their kids locked up in a closet somewhere with no food. So yes, we're capable of the worst humanity, but so we are capable of the best of humanity. But we've got to pull forward in that. You can't wait for someone else to do the right thing and be the right thing in your life. You have to show up as the right thing. You have to lead by example. You hate your life right now? I've had moments of hating my life. I love you. You're awesome. Salpi, thank you. Thank you. If I didn't say thank you, thank you. I love it, Monica. I've had so many moments like that. I've had relationships where I was belittled and put down and emotionally abused and I felt like I was in a prison. And I've imprisoned myself. I've suffered depression for years where I've imprisoned myself with my own negative thoughts, my own self-defeating, negative, and critical thoughts. I've had to work to let go of the self-hatred and the self-loathing. When you carry that with you in your life, you're not going to like your life very much, but you have to forgive yourself and remember that you're human and that you're imperfect. You're not always supposed to be getting it right. Sometimes you're going to get it wrong. And sometimes when you get it wrong, there's a lesson to be learned from that. You grow from that and you gain wisdom and you gain strength and you gain knowledge. No one would ever wish for anyone to go through a tragedy of sexual abuse or physical abuse, spiritual abuse or neglect of any form, nor would we wish for this horrific, tragic mass shooting. Would any of us ever want or wish that for any other human being? And yet this happens because we are human, because we are imperfect, because we are flawed, and because there is sickness, there is mental disease, dis-ease. Not clear-headed, not functioning, not normal. Like people say, like, this dude Cheeto thought I was high because I've got all this passion and I've got all this energy and I'm sober as a stump or whatever, or a skunk, or I don't know, or skunk sober, I don't know the expression. I'm not good with expressions apparently. I don't remember them. But anyways, that guy might have been high. I don't know. He might have been on medication. That guy might have, I don't know. But insanity has no explanation. And the more we try to get in his head, the further we're getting away from what we really need, which is compassion and forgiveness and love, and to treat the people that went through that tragedy, to treat ourselves for any tragedy that we've gone through, to seek counsel, to seek support, to seek love. That could be a church group, that could be at the gym. That's my church every day. I love my gym buddies and my gym rats. They're my church, in essence. They lift me up. They motivate me. They push me to do better and be better. You have to surround yourself with that kind of social support. Without it, you do feel isolated and you do feel alone. I want you to think about the things that have been tragic in your life. So well said. Thank you. Great words. Thank you, you guys. I'm trying to do this and stay on point. I really appreciate all the comments and anything else that you want to offer or add. I really want you to think about all of these tragedies, and I want you to say prayers of blessing and healing for yourself and for anyone afflicted. I want you to think of it as meditation. If you're not a spiritual or religious person, that's okay. When you meditate, you calm the spirit, you calm the central nervous system. You're feeding something good to your central nervous system, to your body and to your heart, instead of keeping yourself escalated and elevated by watching the tragedy on TV. My TV's over here 500 times. You saw it. You know what happened. It may be time to turn that off. It may be time to start feeding yourself with books of compassion and healing. I have one here called Prayers of Healing by Maggie Ullman. You can go anywhere in the bookstore and find things like this. Meditations, mindful meditations. Fill your head with good. There's plenty of bad out there. There's plenty of bad in your past. Maybe there's plenty of bad in your present. You have to combat that with love and compassion towards yourself. As you're walking in your life and you're experiencing abuse or neglect or whatever it is that you're struggling with right now, and you say to yourself, oh my God, you're so terrible, you're a piece of crap, you're never going to get this. All you're doing is building and breeding that evil, awful trauma within yourself. You have to release it and say, this was horrible, but this isn't who I am. This incident is horrible, but it's not who we are. It's not who we are as a people. It is not our true nature. That is the nature of distress and disease. The reason a person could get to that point is they've lost their mind. A person that's rational, a person that's human, cannot respond like that. They have lost their mind. They're acting outside of their own humanity. They are far gone. They're not a person that you can reason with. They're not a person that you can have compassion towards and connect with, because they lost that. They lost the ability to have compassion for others. You guys may have met people like this in your life, in your own home, growing up, in your relationships. You might have one right now. It might be your partner right now in life. You have already spoken the truth. I needed to hear. You are a powerful voice. Thank you, Tanya. Yes, I am my own worst enemy. Amen, Salpi. I'm my own worst enemy too. I want to encourage you and to tell you that the greatest gift that I've had recovering any trauma and dealing with any depression that I've suffered, which is a trauma in my life, or cancer, which is a trauma in my life, is to put back inside my heart thoughts of compassion and love and kind. Whoever this is, I'm plugging their book. They're like, yeah, this is awesome. Plug my book, sister. You got it, sister. If you have books of affirmation and love, read them. Your Bible, read it. The 12 Steps, the big book, read it. That's a spiritual book. There's spiritual books all around you. Don't pick up that tragedy and keep listening to the tragedy in your life and feeding yourself more tragedy. Fill your heart with love and compassion and something good and something powerful. You deserve and you are worth that healing. You are divinely unique. There is no other you. I say this all the time. You've heard it in my other 2 lives probably. There is no other you. You're irreplaceable. So you are precious enough and worth helping and healing to get through any trauma. It is an event that has happened to you. You cannot change that. You can't go back and fix it and make it different. But you don't have to define yourself by that trauma that's in your past, even if it was 2 days ago. That was your past. It's what happened to you. It's not who you are. And you have to tell yourself, I deserve and have the right divinely to live better than I'm living in this relationship, that I'm living in this addiction, that I'm living in this depression. I have the right to heal from this. I have the right to heal my own mind. These are diseases of the mind. Trauma is a disease that affects the mind. It affects you cellularly. It changes and alters the way that your brain thinks. So you have to heal it in that way. Head down or heart up. I always say get into your heart and it will heal your head. Get into your heart and it will heal your head. Give yourself that ability and that compassion. Give yourself the ability to grieve. Give yourself permission to cry, to just let go, to say this is horrible. And I don't want to keep dragging this story around with me. I want to let it go. I want to heal from this. Eddie, how true. Thank you, Eddie. I'm so glad you guys are listening in. If you have any questions or comments, send them in, text them. Some of my staff has been responding. I will go back and review this and I'll respond with you. I want you to understand that yes, it is possible to heal from post-traumatic stress disorder, from trauma of any kind. You have to be willing to do the work. You can't put it away and say, oh, well, I'm going to forget about this. I'm going to put it on my shelf. because it changes how you respond to people, how you communicate. It changes how hyper vigilant you are, that when you're in an environment with a lot of people, you might be frightened, or loud noises maybe frighten you because of things that you learned and you experienced in your past. You have to look at it, but you absolutely can heal from it. You have every right. There's all kinds of therapy and therapy modalities that help with this, right? So you can look those up, but EMDR, I always talk about, is the most phenomenal, magical modality, tool, therapy that you can use to heal. Need to go see a therapist to do that, but that's okay. They're just like me, like a person who just wants to be there, who just wants to support you, a person who's non-judgmental, who's not your family or your brother or sister or loved one who's looking at you going, yeah, I know what your problem is. I got your number. A therapist is there to get to know you and then teach you things about yourself that you didn't know. That's their whole, I hope that's what they're doing, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Can you find me on Facebook and private message me? Find me and private message me, that's easier. But I'm going to answer that to you privately. Go to Ask Gina and send me messages through Ask Gina on my Facebook page. God bless you. Help me so much. God bless you. Salpi, Sima, Best. God bless you. God bless. Oh my God. Amen to you, Deb. So much work and so worth it. It is worth it. It is worth it. You know, I can look at myself in the mirror today from healing and recovering from my own tragedies in my life and traumatic events and people telling me that I wasn't worth anything. It's really, really hard looking at your own reflection when you've been abused. Most of us carry shame, and so we don't want to look in the mirror. We don't want to talk about and look and see any part of ourselves. So yeah, it is possible to heal from that kind of shame. My husband was addicted, Tracy. I am just remembering my blackouts. Wow, Butch. My husband was addicted to painkillers and tried to commit suicide. Thank God he survived, but I can't get over it. And I have been seeing a counselor. I just can't get past it. Start with the language of what you can do. Your brain accepts what you tell it. Like Butch, I don't know, remembering the blackouts maybe because of the discussion we're having. Let yourself know that what you don't remember about that blackout, you don't need to remember, because that's why you blacked out in the first place. Let that go. That can be your history. It doesn't have to be your present. And you can say, I forgive myself for the times that I blacked out, that I didn't know, and my behavior maybe caused some hurt or harm to myself and others. Tracy, it is hard to get over things when they're so painfully tragic and life-threatening like that. It's terrifying. You are not responsible, nor do you hold the key to your husband's sanity, health, and recovery. And truth be told, it was tragic for you. You experienced a trauma because of what you witnessed. You can get past it. It starts with letting go. It starts with saying, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to grieve. If I have to hit a pillow in my therapist's office, if I have to punch a punching bag, I tell my clients to go to the batting cages and hit something to release the energy of anger and resentment that you might have. And then the grief will come, and let the grief come. You can do this in stages, but you can get past it, because keeping yourself back there keeps your relationship back there. If you're still in a relationship and you want to move forward with a loved one that you've had a traumatic event with, you've got to move into the present. If you stay in the past, you're sticking the relationship back there and it can never heal. And you have a right to heal from that past as much as your partner has the right to heal from his addiction and his suicide attempt. And I hope that he's getting help for those things, okay? Kim, how do you help a loved one with an addiction problem? Oh my God, it starts by conversation. First of all, you got to talk to them. You got to let them know. You think you're hiding it. You're not hiding it. I see it. I know it. It's killing me. I don't want to keep being a witness to your tragic self-destruction. I'm feeling the pain. I can't save you or rescue you, but I can stand by you. I can walk you through it. I can find resources for you. I can take you to your first AA meeting and sit there with you. I'm healing from saving my ex from OD 5 times, dealing with the PTSD from that. Hell yeah. Nikki, oh my God, Nikki, watching somebody OD, it doesn't get more traumatic than that. EMDR therapy, I'm telling you guys, this is phenomenal. You can go on a website, EMDR, IA. It's the International Association for EMDR, and you can find therapists all over the world that are certified in that type of therapy that quickly helps us to heal the brain from trauma. It's like taking the emotional wound of what happened to you and helping your head to make sense of it and comfort that heart. It helps you to file the trauma into your past and stop dragging it into your present. That's the best therapy, I'm telling you, that's out there for dealing with any kind of PTSD. My daughter isn't trying to hide it. Yeah, nobody's trying to hide. I mean, you're living with an addict or an alcoholic. You're in relationship with them. You go to Al-Anon. You read books on codependency. Codependent no more, fabulous. Facing codependency, fabulous. You have to heal yourself. You have to empower yourself so you can confront that. And then you have to look for professional resources to step in to create a barrier between you and that addict so that you don't go down with them. You have to save yourself in a sinking ship. That sounds like contrary action, but you do. And so you can guide them and give them all the resources, but you are absolutely powerless over someone else's disease of addiction. You're absolutely powerless over it. It is not your shame. It is not your problem. It's not your responsibility even. But you can offer solution. You can offer hope. You can show up for people. You can and should show up for people that need your help, that you love, that you're in relationship, but don't let them drag you down. Don't let them to continue lying, stealing, cheating, and thieving from you. You have to set a boundary with them. Yes, you do. I had to finally leave. Amen. Sometimes you have to finally leave. Sometimes you have to say, if you're not willing to get help, I can't be here in relationship with you anymore. I have to remove myself because I'm drowning now. I'm going crazy now. I'm suffering depression or I'm suffering anxiety from living in relationship with this. And always be available for that phone call that says, when you are willing, and if you are ever willing, pick up that phone because I'll take you there. I'll stand by you. But you can't go with and support someone who's not willing to help themselves. So I know we covered lots of ground. We're at, it's like 6:45-ish. I usually do these 30 minutes. We had a break in the beginning, so I had to come back in and start over. Some people cannot be there for the addict because they do not have the strength to refrain from enabling. Yeah, enabling is a disease in and of itself. So the enabling sometimes just takes the addict out even further and even longer. And it's so hard. It's so hard for a parent or a spouse, a brother or sister to understand their own enabling behavior and to not see it as love and care. So you have to learn, you have to educate yourself. You have to understand that's codependency. Go to Al-Anon. I mean, it's a beautiful program to help you understand when you're in a relationship, a loved one with another addict. Timothy, I don't do any drugs, but I have several panic, anxiety every day, and bipolar, and very depressed. Yes. So therapy and medication support with a psychiatrist is one of the times that I'll say medication truly is most effective in treating bipolar disorder. It's necessary because it's a chemical imbalance in the brain, and you have to help that brain to reset and support itself so that you can face all of these other emotional feelings you're having. EMDR works great with panic attack and panic disorder. It's anxiety reduction, meditation, exercise, the free stuff, mindfulness practices on a daily basis. That stuff is for free that we can do. It's on the internet, on YouTube, where you fill yourself up with meditation, mindful practices of yoga, breath work, affirmations, going to the gym and exercising, walking. All of these things are mindful practices that help heal the brain when the brain has a chemical imbalance, such as with depression, such as with bipolar, most mood disorders, anxiety disorders, and hormonal disorders, thyroid function disorders. When your thyroid is out of whack, your hormones out of whack, your brain goes out of whack. I lived that one for 7 years, and I know. Were it not for going to the gym every day, I really probably would have jumped out a window. I had to take myself and force myself to do a mindful practice that helped liberate me from my own thoughts. You guys can text, email. It's Harmony Heals Detox and Rehab. We posted the 800 number. It's 800-426-5943. Send messages at Ask Gina. I know you're disabled, so we'll have to text you and send resources. There's county resources. In almost every city in the United States, there's programs called family services. You can look them up. It starts off as Family Services of Long Beach or LA, where I live in California, so Miami, Florida. You look up family services, they have free services. Most universities, if not all of them, but the majority of universities and local colleges have free counseling services as well. There's resources in your directory, sometimes in your local community and your community centers. There's always free resources, and there's even free pastoral counseling. So if you have a religious belief and practice, you can go there too. Okay. Bipolar 2, is there a way to do only supplements and not medication? I am not a physician and I am not a doctor, and it is out of my scope to recommend medication or not. I was giving you my information as a clinician. What I've seen with all my clients with bipolar is their best results are when they are on some kind of medication. I use supplements for everything and essential oils, so supplements can always help. The GABA, L-theanine are supplements that help boost the brain and help the brain to remain calm. But bipolar disorder is truly a chemical imbalance in the brain that needs a little extra support. And so in my experience, you can go get 3 or 4 different opinions of psychiatrists who are MDs and also psychologists about what the best medications are for bipolar disorder. And in addition, add supplements, because you can do both. And in addition, do the mindfulness practices, okay? Donda, you're so welcome. And Timothy, too, I totally hear you. I hope you heard some of the resources that I had. Ask any family member or friends, any community center for help in your area to help you. Even, sometimes there's social workers. If you go to your county mental health program in your county, most counties have a mental health program and statewide mental health resources that you can ask for social workers who will come in the home even and provide some counseling and help you to get back on your feet again and get moving forward. Listen, you guys, I am going to have to wrap it up. I can't believe the time is flying. So typically I'll do 30 minutes. I think I went 40, 45 this time. This is the longest I've ever gone. What happens is I start talking so much, I start losing my voice. It's crazy. I want you to think about things that you want to hear from me. And Salpi, I'll text you about PTSD. I talked about earlier in the show what helps PTSD, EMDR, counseling, mindful meditations and practices. PTSD is all about an active, hyperactive nervous system brain. It is activated and it needs to learn to calm down. And the way that we do that, hi Marla! It's so good to see you. And Mary, my friends are on here now. This is so cool. It's good to see you again. So PTSD is about the primitive brain. Part of your brain is active, and it is fight, flight, or freeze. So all of these therapies, EMDR, any mindful meditation, yoga, exercise, any mindful practice helps calm that part of the brain and helps your brain to understand and process, I'm not living back there in that traumatic event. I'm living right here. I need to put that traumatic event in the last chapter of my life so that I can move forward in the next chapter of my life. Need help getting off Suboxone? Again, Harmony Heals Detox, 800-426-5943. If not us, again, resources. We'll try to send you resources and phone numbers in your area. That is a normal, easy process to go through in terms of going through detox. Many people come in to detox off Suboxone. It is very, very important to do that very, very slowly and over time and under the care of a physician who's an addiction medicine doctor who's certified and understands addiction. They call it ASAM, is a society that has a criteria for physicians who treat addictionologists. All this stuff you guys can look up on the internet, and you can find people in your area, and there are people who do work with scholarshiping and sliding scale fees. There's a place called 10,000 Beds. It's a mom and a son who's been in recovery for many years now, I think like 7 or more. And they go all over the U.S. trying to place people in treatment centers on scholarship beds. So please know that there's a way. Where there's a will, There is a way. There is always a way. Please send me. I'm sorry. You didn't miss it, Mary. You get to see me all the time, girlfriend, at work. So withdrawal is offered some Suboxone. Yes, it is. And that's why you have to do a slow taper. And don't let anybody tell you have to go cold turkey or it has to be faster or slower. We've had clients come off of it that have had 3 months, 6 months, up to a year of weaning off. A physician who understands and who understands your unique withdrawal systems will support you in that. There is no shame in that. As long as you're able to continue functioning in your life, sometimes that medically assisted treatment helps you get there. And then slowly you can come off and build other resources like the supplements and vitamins and mindful practices, holistic practices that I practice, yoga, martial arts, meditation. All of those things can help boost your brain energy while you're coming off some other medications like long-term medication like a Suboxone, okay? So good luck with that, Stacy, and please, like I said, look into that. It is possible. Just have someone who's willing to walk you through that very slowly while letting you slowly adjust and let your brain adjust to letting go of that substance, okay? So guys, I love you. I am sending out prayer, meditation for your healing, for your continued health, for your continued recovery. You deserve to heal. You deserve to be well. You deserve to live a brilliant life, a life of your choosing, a life that fulfills you and has purpose. I want to inspire you. I want to guide you in the best ways I can. I'm an imperfect human being who just has a huge heart for people. I've always had it. I've always had it, and so I'm here to share it. I guess that's my purpose on being here. Please send me questions and comments. We're going to go live once a week, I think we're doing, and then we're going to do a Sunday special. Thank you, Nikki. And Stacy, thank you. Connie, how often do you do this? Well, once a week. I did twice a week last time. I tried 2 or 3 times, and it gets hard to... I have a life, I have kids, I have dogs that are crazy right now, barking outside, and a husband and all this kind of stuff, and my clients. So I want to commit to show up once a week, like a live TV show, like on Tuesday nights. If you've not seen This Is Us, the most amazing TV show, TV drama that I've seen since I was a kid, honestly. It shows you true family. Oh my God, I'm putting in a plug for This Is Us. I record it so I don't miss it. Well, you see This Is Us on Tuesday night, come see me on Thursday night at 6. This will be my new post. I'm on Facebook, Ask Gina, that's my page. My company is Harmony Heals Detox and Rehab. That's our Facebook page. Social media, Instagram, look us all up, hit me all up. I have a private family, friend kind of Facebook page, and then I have another page where I communicate and talk to everybody. If you look me up, Gina Tabrizy, MFT, Instagram, whatever, there's all kind of places to find me and all kind of places for you to get resources and get help. Corey, Laguna Beach, I've been there, great facility. Oh my God, Corey, yes, Laguna Beach. Thank you. Whoever said you help us so much, I'm so grateful. Yes, Corey, Laguna Beach, you came in for heroin detox and got there around midnight, started my taper that night. Amen. Who does that, right? Thank you for the plug, Corey. Yes, we take clients at whatever hour. We take you in and we will help you and we will support you and we will love you the very best way that we can. Send me questions, send me comments, and send me topics that you want to hear about. I would love for you to tell me, Gina, can you talk about this? This is driving me crazy. Okay? God bless you all. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope you have a great, great, great evening. Much love to you, and we will see you soon. Ask Gina. Bye-bye. Next Thursday, 6 p.m. Be there. Okay, bye.